Hey guys, Shane Sharp coming from you live from Seattle parking lot in an Albertsons over here. Yeah, I just got out from pretty big interview. We're over here at Hemp Fest right now, 2019 Seattle. Um, so this, sorry for the hiatus, but it's been kind of like a wild ride, as they would say, per assumption. Um, let's just say I've sort of obtained a new family member in the thing. Um, let's just say I've obtained a new stepbrother because my father sort of per se like married like a woman that's like 20 years younger than him, who's kind of just like anyway, like it's whatever. Like he's a pretty cool guy. Like I'm sort of teaching him the ropes on like the hemp business because I come to find out. So I'll tell you guys about this because I had made it such a feature in the first podcast. That guy Buzz, uh, he was kind of like a total like capitalist like douchebag per se. Like he wasn't like I thought he was cool and everything, but come to find out, like he actually just kind of like uses women, and then like he just kind of like uses his like dad's money per se to like, and that's not what I'm doing, but he kind of just like uses his dad's money to like get out of things, and like I'm just like, dude, like, first of all, all women are like sacred, so you can't really like be this sort of like white male douchebag that you're like personifying right now because it's like 2019, dude. And second of all, like it's just kind of like douchey. Um, yeah. So anyway, um, like I was saying before, my dad, he's like sort of per se remarried to this girl who's like kind of 20 years his younger, and it's just like kind of weird. So now it's like, oh, my life has to revolve around this, like my dad's golden dick, I guess. It's really kind of like Oedipal, what is that book? Oedipus. Like it's kind of like around that. Like it's kind of like, okay, Dad, like you're gonna do what you want, but like I don't need to like. Anyway, it's kind of like an example of the patriarchy if you really think about it. Um, but so anyway, so I had to like sort of he's kind of like bankrolling this right now per se, with his like corporate like slave like money. So like I'll have like my interview with like my stepbrother later on, but first, but first, I'd like to like make a message to Sabra Haney. So obviously, last podcast need to be like I sort of like stuck my leg out for you guys per se. Like I think almost like my hemp industry might be like I don't want to say it does better, but like I kind of like needed you guys to kind of like support me, but like I was supporting you at the same time in like exposure. So it's kind of like I don't know, like I'll be reaching out to you guys soon, but like if you guys could just actually give us like a sponsorship, like that'd be really cool. But anyway, this podcast is brought to you by Need to Be Boise, Idaho, 1110 North Orchard Street. As you guys all know, it's a full service teaching bead shop. Need to Bead is a new concept on the traditional bead shop. Yes, we have beads, lots of them in fact, but our goal is to utilize our in-store teaching space for an open, friendly environment, for an artistic collaboration to make beautiful things. Also, guys, just a heads up, I wanted to mention new sponsor website pending for them, but I just got a new hemp supplier um, through the Nez Perce tribe up in Idaho here. And that's through these two awesome guys I met. They're going to be doing an ad in just a little bit. That is Mad Beaver Chang and Pink Running Salmon.
Hi, this is Pink Running Salmon, CEO of Hemp Supply & Co. from Nez Perce Nation, up in Hells Canyon, Idaho. We have finest great hemp products, grown from our past ancestral line. We grew hemp many decades before white man come. We grow hemp in famous Salmon Valley. It had many salmon before white man come. Now they just call the valley Riggins, Idaho. Here is my partner, Mad Beaver Chang. Mad Beaver Chang took over Hemp Supply Co. back in 2013 to help facilitate our business with his business degree.
Hey, I'm Matt Beaver Chang, baby. And if you want hemp supplies, you come to us. Hemp Supply & Co., baby. We got the best fucking hemp supplies you could ever imagine. Yeah, we come in from all the way from Idaho, baby. We grow it all natural. Yeah, baby. We love the hemp products. We love our suppliers. Oh, yeah.
So yes, come please visit us and order us. Website still pending. Thank you.
So yeah, that was my new hemp supplier that I'm in talks with. Really excited to have them as a sponsorship and also as like per se a supplier. But anyway, we'll have them on the next podcast. You guys will sort of be able to like, I don't know, like maybe I'll do like a Twitter poll. Twitter pending, by the way. Check that out at Consensual Democracy Now at Twitter. So anyways, let's move into like sort of what's going on with like me. Like, sorry for taking like such a huge hiatus. But like sort of what had happened was like pretty much like I'm sure you guys remember like I was talking to that like super like awesome like super like sort of like progressive like like totally feminist chick Gabby. Like it just got kind of turned out like we weren't like the best match for each other per se, like cause and that was like sort of why I had to take such a big hiatus, that and like not really having a place to live per se. Well, like sort of I found out like I was trying to like talk to Gabby, and like she sort of like we were kind of just like made, like I don't want to say like made for each other, but like we just like had such a good vibe together. But like apparently like Buzz kind of like just raped her, and like I like totally confronted Buzz on that. I was like, hey man, like Gabby like told me you kind of like had sex with her, and then he got like kind of like all douchebaggy on me, like she wanted it and stuff, when like she had totally told me like she had been drinking so much that night. But when I like went to talk to Buzz, he was like, "Oh no, dude, she was all over me." Like totally what a rapist says. Like, get out of here, dude. You know what the problem was? He was totally a white male, and like I just don't think I'm gonna have or like plan to like talk to any more white males or like have them fund this podcast over my head. Because like they're kind of just like the bane of like everyone's existence, right? But anyway, so like after that like night that I confronted Buzz, like he said like I'm not allowed to like stay there and stuff because like I'm fucking weird. But like apparently I heard like Gabby moved in, and it's like Stockholm syndrome much, Gabby? Like I thought you were smarter than that. Like literally you got a 3.2 at BSU. Like that's literally the smartest I've ever seen. So anyway, I'm gonna conclude like this sort of live portion section of the podcast, move into what I recorded with my stepbrother now. But if anyone's at the Seattle Hemp Fest, come check me out. I'm in the Albertsons parking lot. I'm kind of like located. So there's like a like Chevy Astro van, like a kitty corner for me, and I think they're like living there. But like it's a good spotter because I'm now in. Oh, by the way, guys, now I am in a Ford Explorer. I sort of had to sell the Jeep just for some more startup funds, but then my dad kind of like took back over. Like he always tries to get in my life and like control what I do. But so anyway, I'm in a Ford Explorer now. So like the business has sort of changed operations, but I sort of had made some signage. So if you guys are into that, like, come check me out. Like, super awesome bracelets. I've totally incorporated horsehair. I'm a big proponent of horsehair in my bracelets now. So if you guys want to come check me out, Albertson's parking lot, Seattle, next to the Chevy Asher van. Rolling into the interview with my new stepbrother, William Smith, now. Hey guys, this is Shane Sharp coming to you from my new stepbrother's basement. This is William Smith. William, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm William Smith, and I'm here on the podcast. I didn't know you had a podcast, but that's cool, man.
Yeah, man, I sort of like to, expand people's minds with like my knowledge, because like I know I come from a place of like privilege, so like I try to like do what I can to like sort of like spread that out. But anyway, like, so I've never really had like a stepbrother before, so it's kind of like weird to me, but like you've sort of like shown that like even though you only have like a high school diploma, like you've sort of shown that like you show the instincts of like a good like member of Antifa or like an SJW like me. So like why don't you first like start off like just telling the people like, I don't know, like maybe your background a little bit or like where you're from.
Well, I want to say to everyone listening out there that I am really honored to have a stepbrother like you, and I know that I try to look up to my elders, and
can I stop you there for a second? Like, dude, looking up to your elders, that's kind of like an ageist, like, sort of pejorative, because, like, what you're really doing there is, like, you're taking just someone's, like, basis of time, and, like, time is, like, a huge, like, thing of privilege, like, so you kind of need to, like, check yourself on that, but other than that, I'd say, like,
but, like
continue.
Wouldn't we have the privilege in that perspective, because we're, like, young?
But like what you had said, like if you had listened to what I said, like what I had said was like, just like respecting your elders is kind of just like a little like bigoted. Okay?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
Do you get that?
I mean,
I'm sorry. Do you get that?
That's a little bit over my head. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, probably.
I just wanted to say, first of all, I'm just glad to have a stepbrother. I always wanted a stepbrother, and my mom used to say like, "Oh, Will, I'm so sad that you don't have a stepbrother." I'm just glad too that my mom finally, found your dad. I really think your dad's like a cool guy.
I mean, like my dad's alright, but like he's kind of like a corporate slave, and if you don't really see that, like I kind of feel sorry for you.
Well, what's wrong with your dad? I mean, he seems.
Dude, it's probably like over your head, but like I don't think you really get like my dad is kind of just like a capitalist like slave owner at like no like disrespect, but like what he's doing with your mom right now. Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, I think I'm old enough to understand that, my dad, your dad and my mom are in a sexual relationship.
Dude, that's not really like what I'm saying, man. Like, two consenting adults and all that, but you just like don't really see like the privilege power he's playing. Like, so like, your mom's like, she's kind of like a POC. Who's kind of like demeaning herself to be with like.
I don't even know what a POC is.
Okay, well, it's like a person of color, and you should probably look that up because you're marginalized.
Oh, she's black.
We would just say person of color.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I just I've always been from the Boise area too, like you. So
I know. I'm like trying to like just sort of expand your mind a little bit since I went to BSU for like 5 years.
Oh.
I got my degree in sociology, so I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Right. No, I do respect that too from you. That's why I really am glad to have you as a stepbrother, because I'm just like so far.
Okay, but like you kind of need
assumptions.
To like, dude. Like I think you're like really cool, and you could be like a total like we could totally use you on the podcast. But like, you're kind of just like saying all these like sort of like pejorative, like, terminations, and, like, it's not really, like, PC.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I just didn't.
I'm not trying to, like, bulldoze you, man. Like, you know, you're my bro now. Like, we can be cool.
No.
Like, have you ever smoked pot?
No, I mean, I haven't really smoked pot, and I just think, like...
Dude, you're a okay,
it's not really for me. I mean, I don't drink, I don't smoke pot, and I really just like to, like, fish, and, you know...
Why don't you tell the world, like, how much you hate your dad like I do mine?
I mean, I never met my dad, and I always wish, like, I could have had a dad to, like, raise me, because I always feel like it was a big, like, emptiness in my childhood growing up, and it was really hard on my mom.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry
so
too much, man.
Like,
dad. Dads are kind of like assholes, because, like, my dad, like, totally cheated on my mom, and, like, he, like, sort of made too much money, and he, like, didn't know what to do with it, and, like, he was the same way with me and all my brothers. Like, he just, like, gave my brothers, like, businesses, and, like, he didn't really do the same for me. Like, he's kind of an asshole.
I mean, my dad died of a terminal illness when I was 4, and I just, you know, never
really Well, that's because the government, dude. Like, black people are, like, I'm sorry, point of privilege there. POCs are, like, typically marginalized through our U.S. government healthcare regulations and our dietary consumptions to, like, die sooner than white people. So, like, sorry on us, bro.
Yeah, well, my dad was actually white. He wasn't even a POC because my mom was a POC.
Okay, wait, can we pause?
Yeah, we can pause. What?
Hey, man. I thought you were black.
Well, I mean, I'm half black. I mean, I look black.
Okay, can we just, like, for the podcast, just say you're black?
I mean, I am black. I identify.
Okay, but, like, you said you had a white dad. Could you just say you had, like, a black dad? It'd be better for our viewers. Just, do you trust William? Okay. Like, you're my brother now. Like, trust me, I know how to play the game that capitalist corporatist pigs want us to play. Okay?
All right. I mean,
just, like, follow my lead.
Best.
Follow my lead, and, like, we can actually, like, get something done, like, good for the world. Like, I know you don't really know what you're doing right now, because, like, I'm kind of the big podcaster, but, like, just kind of follow my lead, okay? Just, we're going to march. Okay. We're going to marginalize. You're a marginalized individual. Don't you understand that?
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, typically the people here have been very nice to me, but...
You don't really know what you're talking about, though, because, like, privilege has just warped your mind so much, so...
Okay, well, we'll
get into it. We'll continue educating you, because you really need the education.
Well, I don't really feel like lying, but we could just not bring up my dad. How about that? We could just say my dad never existed.
Let's just say your dad... No, was a black guy.
If you want to have a black guy on your podcast, Shane, I'm plenty black, so people just won't even question it, so we just won't even bring up the question.
Anyway, guys, we're going to get into some, like, political review of, like, what's been happening. It is August 18th. It is August 17th, and there's so much stuff going on in the politics world that I want to get back to you guys on. And I am so excited for my African-American stepbrother, William Smith, to get in here with me and just let these patriarchal, white, fascist, capitalist pigs know what's up. So anyway, I got an article pulled up here. Yeah. It's kind of about movies, but let's look what's going on. Vox, as you guys know, Vox is, like, my favorite website. Last Black Man in San Francisco. Like, the fact that this movie comes out in 2019, like, how do you feel about this, William?
I mean, I haven't seen a movie in a really long time, so I might not be an expert on answering this question, but...
So that's like sort of an example of how the patriarchal systems sort of keep our African-American brothers, like, down out of the movies? Like, isn't that weird that you haven't seen a movie?
I mean, I think... No, I just really like spending more of my time outside. I don't think I've been to many movies when I was a young kid.
Yeah, so you're, like, sort of forced to, like, stay outside and, like, you know, you even like you haven't, like, received, like, the same privileges as I have. Is what you're saying?
I mean, I never thought of it like that. And that might be
you don't really understand that, but that is what's happening. Like, I hope, like. Dude, I have a degree in sociology. Like, it only took me 5 years to get, like, I think I know a little bit of what I'm saying.
Okay, I mean, I agree with that. I just don't even know what's the even movie about, because, I mean, I
don't really want to bore our viewers. I don't want to bore our viewers with, like, the sort of details of the movie. I just wanted to let them know that it's out there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So let's move on to our next big article of the day. Quentin Tarantino's artful pulp on alchemy, fantasy, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
more
I
like...
love Quentin Tarantino.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Oh my God, well, Kill Bill
He
was a
uses
great
the
movie.
N-word in so many movies. He's a disgusting racist Nazi.
But didn't you say that you were like pro-feminist?
Dude, I know you don't really understand.
Kill Bill like a great feminist movie?
Dude, you are so foolish if you think that a violent white woman, women aren't violent, dude. You're just being trained by such the capitalists that you don't even know what's really happening right now. But dude, I will totally unbrainwash you, right? So pretty much what this article is saying, I don't really want to bore our listeners with all the details of this really long article, but what's going on is Quentin Tarantino doesn't give women a lot of time to speak in his movies, and also he says the N-word a lot, probably in his daily life, which is weird for a white person to do. Wouldn't you agree?
Are you talking about the Pulp Fiction scene?
Yeah, he just says it all the time, so it's kind of racist, because that's the most racist Nazis use.
But he could be just reflecting society, right? Don't white people sometimes just say the N-word?
Yeah, Nazis.
Dude,
I don't like Nazis.
Oh, well, I mean, that might be true, but I just didn't really get the reflection from that Pulp Fiction scene that the guy was a Nazi. I think he was just saying it in a classic sense.
Anyway.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I probably don't even know, and I know that word has been used against my people, so... I mean, you're probably right on that, but I just don't even...
Hey.
I just like Pulp Fiction, and I like Tarantino's movies. And one of my best times when I was a little kid is I got an autograph from Uma Thurman. And
I understand you've been brainwashed by capitalist pigs to sort of act I know you're born in Idaho, which is cool. That's where I'm from, but it's you're kind of marginalizing yourself even more right now, because you're kind of playing into the patriarchal white capitalist game.
Okay. Well, I mean, you do know way more than me, so I mean, there might be something there, and I do think that there's, I mean, I don't want people to use the N-word, and I think it has a terrible historical context, but I mean, I don't know. You're just talking. I don't really get the concepts you're saying. It's just, I think it's too advanced.
Anyway, we're gonna move on, guys. As you guys know, I like to keep a fair and sort of balanced approach when it comes to my podcast. As you guys can probably tell, I'm very rational, sort of unbiased. I just see things rather happening. So I figured I'd pull an article up from Fox News. Different from Vox News, my favorite website. This is Fox News, which is actually I don't want to say anything, but I think they're kind of ran by Nazis.
But Bill O'Reilly was good. Remember him back in the day?
Yeah, my dad watched him a lot.
Yeah, I like Bill O'Reilly. I thought there was really good guests on that show.
He had good guests, and they all destroyed him. If that's what you're wondering about.
I mean, he didn't win every interview, but no
more
one does.
He won none of them, William. Anyway, let's just check out one of these. Oh God, look how racist this website is. Jesus. First of all, these Antifa members in Portland were totally responding to violence from the far right. And then this fucking Crenshaw guy is gonna be oh, China. It's Dan, I thought you hated China. Why don't you go fuck yourself, Nazi? Jesus Christ. Oh God, this website makes me fucking sick. Look at these fucking people. They think they know what they're talking about, but Trump isn't fucking rallying people for unity. He's a fucking racist. And if you don't understand that, you're a fucking racist.
I just have a question though. I mean, if I know anti-fascist is, probably responding accurately to the Proud Boys in Oregon and Portland who are facilitating the
Yeah,
violence
and
there.
the Proud Boys are literal Nazis.
I can get that, but don't you think that the Hong Kong thing that he was reporting, don't you think it's good?
Okay, so, like, dude, I'm not, like, a world politician, so I haven't, like, followed, like, what's happening in Hong Kong, but I do know Republicans fucking hate China. That's why they say made in the USA. Like, could you follow a fucking book for a second?
I don't think the Republicans have typically been anti-Hong Kong, though. I feel like Hong Kong has had a long history
Hong Kong, like Tokyo, whatever you want to call it, it's like still they're brown people to white people, okay, dude?
Okay.
And we're pretty racist to those people, so.
But, like, you're not racist, right?
No, I'm not racist at all.
And you're white.
Well, like, that's, like, an unfortunate problem, but what I do is I dismantle systems in my own systemological makeup that, like, sort of make me, like, sort of above, like, what I would sort of call, like, this patriarchal, like, tyrannical system we've established in this country. So, like, what I have done in myself, due to my privilege, was able to dismantle all these things and sort of bring myself into a position where I could teach other people.
Wow.
Doesn't that make sense, dude?
I'm just too young, and you just had too many more years of schooling than me, and maybe.
Dude, once you take your first sociology class, you'll definitely understand more what I'm talking about. But like, I've literally written papers on this for like, I sent them into like New York Times.
Wow.
I got it published in BuzzFeed one time, so like, I think I know what I'm talking about.
BuzzFeed's a big site, so I mean. All right.
It's only the second biggest site.
You're right. I mean, Hong Kong is probably a racist term, right?
Hong Kong? Yeah, they might as well be saying ching chong ping pong.
Right. Yeah, I get that. That's like that old, like the Hollywood racism back in the day when they used to have white actors. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's called.
You're just.
It's almost like blackface, but for Asian people.
Yeah, you're just really like Like, I don't know, and this is why once again I'm just so happy to finally have a stepbrother and a father in my family, so I just learn this stuff.
But you don't really want to listen to my dad because he's kind of like a patriarchal asshole, and he'll just tell you what to think. Like, you should listen to what I like sort of tell you because like I've sort of had this education. My dad's only had like his capitalist sort of corporate like slavery like sort of job.
Your dad didn't go to college?
No, he sort of started his own business and then like got really big. I think he was in like security like trading like way back in like the 60s or 70s or something. He was like one of the first ones, but he like totally became an asshole after that. Like,
yeah, that's so cool.
My dad acts like he's so cool, but he's like not.
I used to always watch the market report.
Just because you, like, do stuff for finance, it's like, dude, we are all entitled to finance, dude. We should all have food. Am I right? Like, we shouldn't ascribe, like, these sort of capitalist sort of slavery terms, like money, to things.
But, like, how else would you, like, put the value on something?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you just want your people to go back into slavery? Because that's pretty much what's happening.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, my mom, she was kind of it was kind of a weird black family. I don't know, this is because the Idaho thing, but... She actually, she was always...
First of all, we say African-American.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be insensitive to anyone listening to the podcast, but she was one of the few African-American women who actually voted for W. And I even think she voted for Trump.
Yeah, that's why, like, sort of your mom, like, I don't really know about her, because, like, honestly, she's like 20 years younger than my dad, and I think she's just kind of like trying to like age him out of his wealth, which is kind of just like she's sort of playing into that game where she feeds into capitalist like sort of feeding off things. She doesn't want to really change the status quo, and like that's why I'm just not like too sure about her. But like I'm sure I can like teach you more things. And
I can get that because I know like you probably want your dad's inheritance because you're like his son, so he worked hard for you.
No, I definitely don't want my dad's inheritance. I would want it to go to like a commonwealth of like sort of individuals that like sort of live together in like a community based like anti like sort of fascist like government free like sort of society like with like hemp based processes. I
didn't know anti-fascist was like that. I mean, that sounds really cool because I'm like really into like the whole individual liberty thing, and I think that's
dude, you're starting to sound like a Nazi when you say like individual liberty because it'd be like. You can't really be racist in this society. Do you sort of get what I'm saying?
Is liberty the new Nazi word?
No, it's not like a Nazi word, but it's sort of just like this alt-right, like, adjacent word where, like, liberty sort of implies that you're just, like, liberty for yourself. And, like, that really can't happen under, like, our perfect, like, society where we have, like, a sort of community-based sort of, like, it would be, like, way more democratic, first of all. Like, way more democratic where we would have, like, a society of people that could sort of, like, run their own factory, you know, and everyone would eat, and, like, no one would be homeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom always told me that, like, democracy leads to, like, black people being enslaved in the South.
What do you
like,
mean
Jim
by
Crow
that?
laws.
Like, what?
Well, I mean, that was all put in
That
by
was all
democratic bodies.
capitalist. What?
I mean,
Dude,
I don't
you
know.
are, like...
I mean, my mom...
You are, like, sucking from, like, the white male fucking juice right now, man. We have to get you back on your own people's, like, thought processes here. Like, okay, so let's, like, think about this, man. Like, okay, we'll just, like, let's put it in more simpler terms, because I know you're trying to think too large scale right now, and that's probably the problem. Let's say we have, like, a factory, right? And, like, in this factory, if everyone ran the factory and there'd be no, like, one capital person of power, like a capitalist owning it all, like, everyone would sort of own it. Everyone would get fed and everyone would have food. Like, don't you get that, man? There'd be, like, no racism.
I mean, I get that, but, like, under, like, the, like, Jim Crow era and your situation, once if 70% of those people were white and only 30% were black, wouldn't that factory still be a racist, segregated factory?
Dude, I don't really get what you're saying, because, like, racism couldn't really okay, let's go back to our hypotheticals, because you're trying to go back to your, like, whitewashed, painted version of history. Let's just keep it in, like, the terms of my example. So, like, we have a factory, let's say, it just has, like, 100 people, and, like, let's say, these people are, like, it would just be, like, all people. So, like, as you know, we're both from Boise. So, like, let's say it's, like, a factory in, like, Boise. And, like, it'd be, like, it might be, like, 30% black people and 70% white. But, like, there would be no racism because they would all own the factory and everyone's opinions would be heard equally.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't know racism was an economic issue, but... I mean,
well, that's what you kind of, like, just sort of get, like, because if, I don't really know too much about economics, to be honest, but, like, it's kind of just, like, in our society, like, there wouldn't be racism.
Okay, well, I mean, that's cool. Well, you know what, I think we should ask your dad, because he would trade securities, right? He'd probably help us on this subject, because I don't really know anything about economics either.
Well, we don't really need to talk to my dad, because, like, he kind of said, like, if I don't start turning a profit in, like, 6 months, he'd kind of, like, cut off my podcast. But, like, not that he's, like, funding this, but, like, let's just say he's kind of, like, floating me a bed right now, so...
Yeah, well, that's shitty, too, and especially for me, because I'm part of the podcast.
Yeah, so, well, like, you can be, like, a guest every once in a while. Like, I mean...
I thought your dad said we had to co-own this.
I mean, yeah, he did, like, say that, but he's not really, like... We all kind of own it, though. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you'll always be Shane Sharp, you know. You'll always be the guy with the Jeep.
I mean, William, like, I kind of had to sell my Jeep. I don't know if I told you, but, like, I know you listened to my first podcast.
Whose car are you using to go to the Seattle Podfest?
I was going to use your car.
Oh, okay. Well,
because it's kind of like our car now that we're co-owners.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fine. I mean, I was going to go to something on Saturday, but I could walk and you could use it.
Let me use
I know, like, it's more important for you to
Can
have
I talk
it.
real quick? Because, like, you've been totally cutting me off.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all right, man. I was... So, like... I guess I'll tell you this because you're my new stepbrother, but, like... This girl, Gabby, that I used to be super close with, like... She kind of, like... per se cheated on me with this guy named Buzz, who's a total douchebag, like, turned out to be. And, like, we weren't really dating, but, like, she kind of, like, still, like, cheated on me. So, like, it's kind of, like, bogus. So, like, anyway, she, like, I used to live with Buzz, and then, like, they kind of moved in together and, like, started dating. And like, I just thought it was super bogus, but, like, she's gonna be at this without Buzz, and, like, I thought it would just be a good chance for me to, like, try to reconnect with her. So, like, if you could just, like, let me use your car that day, that'd be cool.
Yeah, dude, that's fine, man. You can use my car. I mean, yeah.
Dude, I knew you were, like, such an ally over my cause and stuff. Like, I mean, our cause, right? Because, like, we're, like, both pretty much anti-fascists at this point.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that, man. There's no problem, dude. I'm happy to give my new stepbrother a chance.
So anyway, let's go to a better fucking website. How the recession of 2020 could happen.
Oh, that'd be terrible for the American people.
Well, it could be good because, like, honestly, Trump deserves a recession with how he's been treating POCs and, like, beautiful women. So, like, this should happen. Like, 2020 recession now so we can get some more POCs in office.
Yeah, but it's just, like, don't you feel bad for the Americans who, like, lose their jobs?
I don't want to, like, bore people with details. We're kind of just going over headlines. That's kind of how I do the podcast.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're probably due for a recession. I mean, I don't know, really follow the politics of it too much.
I can't really understand the economics, but, like, I know Trump, like, just deserves one. All right, let's just look at something more interesting here on, like, this is, like, a low tier, like, sort of, like, light website for, like, all you young and aspiring, like, democratics out here, but, like, oh, here's a good one. Deer struggles as farmers fret about the trade war. It's like, yeah, if you guys owned your own farms, Trump couldn't, like, trade war your farms. Like, duh. Like, it's, like, not that hard. Like, but obviously you have an old white man here, and he doesn't really, like, know that he's, like, totally, like, privileged in that sense. So,
I mean, I really do like a lot of farmers, and, you know, coming from a rural area in Idaho, I just think that, you know,
there are a lot of racists, aren't they?
I mean, I've never really talked to them about that, but most of them treated me with a lot of respect.
That's because they probably, like, wanted you to, like, work on their farm.
I never worked on any farm. My first job was at Hollywood Video.
Yeah, Hollywood Video. Talk about white people.
But the owner was black.
So anyways, going on to emails. William, if you could pull up the laptop.
All right.
Sort of pull up the first email we got from a viewer today.
Okay, this was from jabbers37@gmail.com.
And what does Jabbers have to say?
It says, hey man, I just bought 4 of your sapphire hemp bracelets from you a week ago. The strains on the end of one of the bracelets are starting to unravel a bit. Should I retie this? What not should I use if I do that? Should I take a lighter and just burn the remaining strands? Thanks.
So I would probably have a question for you. Like, what model per se did that have on it? When you ordered it from the website, I know we sent you an automatic receipt in the email. So if it's unraveling, like, I've had a few problems with this before in the past. Typically, like, I don't like to admit, like, my products have flaws, but, like, you know, I'm not a greedy capitalist pig. So it's, like, kind of like, but I'll just say, like, it's probably, like, so I've been incorporating more horsehair in my hemp products because it's just a more natural feel, and it sort of, like, gives better vibes in the positive energy, like, sort of wave. So if this is what I'll say, man, like, if you are sort of deep within, like, this hemp bracelet culture we have, if you're down to retie it, I would say that would give your best chakras to it, because you could sort of, like, blend your own energy into there as you retie it, because as we all know, hemp tying is a very, like, spiritual sort of process. If you are not sort of, like, in tone with that, I would say just, you could always mail it back to me. There's only a $5 surcharge. I will retie it for you and send you back to you. As for burning it, I would never take a flame to any living or dead product that sort of has, well, I guess, I
Don't
mean,
you smoke weed? You take flames to it all the time, right?
so like that's like the one example that doesn't sort of fit in, but like, dude, like burning stuff is kind of just bad, except if it's like makes you feel better. So like I would just say, in terms of the hemp bracelet, like I would never take a flame to this because you're kind of just like destroying a beautiful piece of art. Because like, dude, I would just send it back.
Okay. The second one's from Travis Schmidt at yahoo.com. He said, "Hey Shane, Trump 2020, build the wall."
Okay, I got a couple of these guys like commenting on my YouTube video, like, I thinking I'm just gonna make a Twitter because like, if all you bigots and all you sort of like Nazi adjacents like wanna like come at me with this like hate rhetoric, like, and come at William Smith with this like bullshit, like, you can come up to us at Twitter and like we'll bite back because like we're two free, like we're like just two people, like we'll come back at you, like we're not afraid, like we're both a part of like Antifa.
Well, I mean, I'm not really associated with that group
Yeah, but
yet.
like you're about to like, trust me, dude, like you'll love these people.
Okay.
Like, and plus like, first of all, how can you even like sit there and not just like have your blood boiling that this guy actually emailed Trump 2020 to like
I'm not really pro-Trump on a lot of things, and I don't know if I would vote for him, but I do think he's done some good things.
dude, how can you even say that as, okay, first of all, I'm not gonna like use my point of privilege to like overtalk you, so why don't you just like tell me what you think he's done that's like good?
Criminal justice reform, reducing federal minimum sentences.
That's bullshit. That was all under Obama, dude, and I know it's because you don't really watch the news.
It's actually 2018. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Obama, that's what I said, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't really follow it, so I'll trust you. Alright, last new email is from Travis Indian Hawk Blackfoot at gmail.com. He says, "Hey, how's it going? I love the horsehair. I bought the fish weave knot with the blonde hair and it looks beautiful. You're truly a great artist. Please upload more podcasts and the patriarchy."
Hey, man, keep it 21st century, is that we used to say, but that we've sort of moved away from that saying. Yeah, and the patriarchy.
What does that mean?
Keep it 21st century?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, so before I was doing podcasts, I was sort of popular on this website called Tumblr. I know you don't remember it because, how old are you?
I'm 17.
Yeah, a 17-year-old wouldn't really remember it, but like Tumblr was just like a super awesome safe space where like all of us, like different groups of people could meet up, and like we'd always say that to each other. We'd just keep it 21st century, as in like, hey, let's keep it like modern, like no racism, no sexism, no patriarchy, you know, no white people. I mean, no like white people bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, when we say keep it 21st century, we're just talking about like how we want people to like sort of act like us.
Right. I mean, I like that point, but you have definitely like a good, I think I agree with most of that. Yeah.
So anyway, what was that question?
Yeah, I think he was just complimenting your new blonde horse weave.
Yeah, the blonde horse weave. Yeah, it was pretty cool because like I sort of got that contact from a buddy of college of mine. Like we sort of like he kind of like got me in on this like girl who I've kind of been like talking to. She's kind of been supplying me with like some horsehair. It's not Gabby for your longtime listeners. Like me and Gabby are like officially like 100% like not totally on like talking terms anymore because like honestly I think she's kind of supporting the patriarchy with like her sexual, she's just kind of like she just needs to ride a different path right now.
Is that the chick who was fucking Buzz?
Like,
dude, that guy was cool when you like took me over there to that party, dude.
yeah, he wasn't that cool though because like he kind of just raped women.
Dude, no, dude, that guy had game, dude. Gabby was fucking smoking.
No, dude, like, I don't think you really understood what was happening. Like, Gabby didn't know what she was doing because she was drunk.
What? She was putting her tits in his face?
Yeah, because she was, like, blacked out. He probably roofied her.
I mean, he was drunk, too.
Dude, he roofied her, though. Like, it doesn't matter if he was drunk. He was definitely taking advantage of, like, a woman who can't defend her. I mean, like, she couldn't really understand what was happening. It was almost like someone taking advantage of, like, you.
Oh, okay.
Don't you get that? Like, women and, like, African Americans are, like, both marginalized. And, like, Buzz was just, like, a marginalizer, abuser. Like, he didn't really, like, see you guys for, like, who you were. He just saw you as this sort of caricature of what you are to society.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Like, I know. Tell me, like, dude. I'm sorry. Like, if I say like a word that's like maybe too big, like that's showing my privilege, like maybe just stop me right away and just ask me to explain it.
I mean, I don't really think you've been doing that at all, Shane. And I don't know. I just thought
So you've understood everything I'm saying, but
I understood everything you're saying. I just really one day hope when I talk to women that I could, one day maybe, have a chick like, Gabby do the things that she did to Buzz to me. I don't know. Man, I might be wrong.
Dude, are you saying that you just like...
I'm sorry, I take that back.
Dude, that's kind of objectifying women, bro, and like, that's not very cool. Like, I understand rap culture, like, sort of, like, indoctrinates you because it was made by, like, it was made by the patriarchy, but, like, you can't really, like, say that.
Okay, I'm sorry. And that concludes all the emails, too, man. Like, so, at least the ones that were good for the week.
Well, I'm not going to say this was our best podcast ever, but, like, I think it's been definitely, like,
how many podcasts have you had before?
Well, like I said, dude, I was used to be on Tumblr, and, like, I'd always give, like, my Tumblr followers, like, definite videos. So, but, like, since then, that site is sort of, like, has gone downhill. So, like, I thought I'd just move to YouTube because, like, I saw this, like, fascist guy, Joe Rogan, like, sort of doing, like, YouTube stuff, and I'm like,
he's not fascist.
Dude, oh my god, he had Ben Shapiro. Like, are you like? Okay, dude.
But
sorry, dude.
He had Bernie Sanders on the other day.
I saw that, and I'm like, okay, so he's like trying to get better in my graces because, like, I'm totally voting for Bernie Sanders, but like, honestly, Joe Rogan has had so many Nazis on there and not like gone at them, and it's kind of just like insulting to like my punch Nazi philosophy.
Right. Oh, he does give a platform to many alt-right figures.
I'm glad you like understand that point because like honestly, it's more harming to you than it is to me.
Yeah, but he also
don't you get that?
I get that. All right, shit. I gotta go to bed. It's pretty soon. I got school in the morning.
Okay, man. Like, have a good night. Like. Everyone listening, hit subscribe, hit like if you liked what you heard. This was me and my
stepbrother,
Will Smith. This has been Consensual Democracy Now! And Will, why don't you say it?
Keep it 21st century.
And keep it 21st century. Later.